Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I am Eric, and Orlando, Florida is full of fantastic theme park rides. However, there are many that don't get a lot of respect that I'm going to talk about today. This is the top 10 most underrated rides in Orlando, Florida. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you all for getting me to 550 subscribers. I never imagined we'd get from 500 to 550 so soon. I appreciate you all for that, and I hope we will continue to grow and get to 600 by the end of the month. That's looking really good right about now. And I should also note that some of my opinions will be very controversial, and you'll be shocked to see certain rides being considered underrated or good, or even when I compare them to others. But let's get into the actual ranking. Number 10 is Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls at Islands of Adventure. Most people like this one, however most people say Jurassic Park River Adventure is better, and I say not even close personally. I much prefer Dudley Do-Right and would call it the best log flume ride or even water ride in the world. There's not a single one that compares to it in my opinion. Some may disagree, but the theming is fantastic. It's a long ride, pretty well paced, really thrilling drops, and just a really fun experience. I had no idea who Dudley Do-Right was, but this was a really, really fun ride. Number 9 is the Tomorrowland Transit People mover. This one, most people consider underrated already, so that's why it's only number 9. But this is one of my favorite rides at Magic Kingdom. It's actually really fun to go around Tomorrowland, and it's just very charming. This is one of the times when I felt Disney magic when I went to the park. I've not been to Disney in a while, but this one's definitely one of the most underrated. Now, number 8 is not really in the same kind of ride category as this one is Doctor Doom's Fearfall. The ride is pretty thrilling, and I like thrilling rides. That's why this ranks where it does. Now, most people think it's just a decent drop tower. I think it's actually a really good one. The queue is great, and it's just a really fun ride. So that's why I decided to rank it in underrated. Definitely worth a visit. I always go on it when I'm at Universal Islands of Adventure. Now, for number 7, this is the first Legoland Florida ride. A very underrated park, but this is Coaster Soros. Coaster Soros is a pretty solid airtime Woody. Not amazing, but pretty good. I think it's decently smooth, and actually a pretty good family wooden coaster. Some definitely don't like it, some of my friends even don't like it, but I like it quite a bit. Number 6, another Legoland roller coaster, is the Dragon. Really great dark ride theming with some really impressive animatronic sort of Lego things, and a solid junior coaster at the end. Good theming, good thrills. Most people don't talk about this one, but it's actually a really, really good ride. Entering the top 5 is Animal Kingdom's Dinosaur. This is often sorely compared to Indiana Jones Adventure, and that's because it's the same ride system. However, if we compare the rides to the same ride system, yeah, sure, this may pale a bit, but this is one of my favorite rides at Animal Kingdom, and in fact, the entire Disney World resort. It's pretty thrilling, has some awesome animatronics, and the story is fun. I think it's good for dinosaur lovers, a little scary even. It's a pretty good ride. Definitely recommend it, and I don't think it's a bad ride at all. It's actually really, really good, and I definitely think you should visit it if you go to Animal Kingdom. Number 4, another Legoland ride, Masters of Flight. This only ranks as high as it does, because while I don't hear a lot of complaints about it right now, I don't hear a lot of people liking the motion simulators overall, and I understand that. I don't like motion simulators either. This is one of the only exceptions. This is the best motion simulator I've ever been on. I hear there's some good ones in other countries, but this is fantastic. It's really fun. The safety video is the best I've ever seen. Very charming, good story, strong visuals, decent movements, fairly immersive, and much more thrilling than something like Soarin'. It's actually a really good ride, unless you get motion sick easily, and I definitely recommend riding it when you go to the park. Number 3, Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. This is very tough because it's kind of cheap looking, I admit it. However, I'm much more about having fun and just having a good time on a ride than being impressed by theming. And the theming goes very well with the kind of campy nature of the Buzz Lightyear stuff. I'm a sucker for shooting rides, and this one's really fun. Maybe not the best, but most people say it's only okay. It's one of my favorite rides at Magic Kingdom. Really fun shooter, solid ride overall, definitely recommended. And number 2, final Legoland Florida ride, Lost Kingdom Adventure. I hear so many bad things about this ride. I hear that it's just cheap and poorly done system and boring and no story, I disagree with all of those. The cheap style goes really well with Lego, and certain things look a lot like Lego. Some say it's cheap because there's limited movement of animatronics. However, I feel, like I mentioned, big budget's not as important as a good time. And this is the most fun shooter I've been on, as it's a lot more interactive than most, has a pretty good story to it that I definitely recommend. It's just a really, really fun ride. Definitely one of my favorites at Legoland, and one of my favorite dark rides ever, period. But number one is the Simpsons ride. This is not my favorite ride. It's probably top 10 at Universal Orlando, but not my favorite. However, it ranks here because it gets a lot of flack. Some people really hate this one, say it's boring or just gets you motion sick and nothing else. However, if like me, you're a fan of The Simpsons, you will love this ride. It is very true to the series. The queue is quite fun, and it's very impressive animation, and it's just a really fun ride. It's a lot more motion than most motion simulators, and I think it's one of the best simulators ever. I prefer Masters of Flight because I love the Lego movies, but this is just a really, really great ride. And some don't like it, but I definitely think it's one of the best. And that concludes the list. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment your underrated theme park rides below. I have a new park battle coming soon, and more videos after that. I'll see you next time.